Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
All right, everyone, what's going on? Welcome to your Tuesday night edition of Unscripted, live, of course, episode 366. If you didn't check it out last Thursday, we had our episode 365, our special episode where we had our first ever award show. Go check that out. We had a great time. And, hey, we'll see. First of many. Of course, joining me tonight, as always, is my guy, Jay McLevin. What's going on, Jay?
I am doing well today. I did not do so well previously. I'll explain more about that close to home. But other than that, Logan, just like we talked about in pre-show, I'm pretty sure everybody, if you live in the South, you know what we're going through that heat wave, and I'm just trying not to get heat stroke.
Yeah, dude, it has been hot in Georgia as well as in Texas these last few days, weeks, whatever you want to call it. I'm ready for fall, Jay. I'm ready for fall weather, the breeze blowing, and man, I just want to get cooler outside. I'm tired of this heat.
Yeah, I'm just tired of not putting my dang head in the freezer to cool off.
Popsicles ain't enough, brother. You just have to stick your whole head in
I'm
there.
just saying, man, dang.
Well, hey, if you guys enjoy the episode here tonight, please be sure to check us out on social media. Best way to check us out on social media, though, is, of course, our link tree, which is in the description of all of our episodes. It's a one-stop shop. You can find all of the following social media platforms. Of course, Facebook, our main hub at Unscripted, Twitter or X, whatever it's called nowadays, Unscripted Guys, and on TikTok, YouTube, as well as on Twitch. It is under Unscripted Sports. Now, before we get into our topics tonight, please go and check out on Facebook, Stat Guy Says Number 9. Our guy Dustin Reeves did a great job previewing college football right around the corner. We know it just starts just after 1st or 2nd of September. He's talking about the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. If you're not familiar with the conference like I was, and I'm sure like Jay was, it's a great read to learn about some schools, some players who you might not be really familiar with. So if you want to get maybe some late round draft knowledge that you might not have, this is a great place to read, and awesome work by Dustin as always. And if you missed Thursday's show, Jay, we had a pretty big announcement, the announcement of our brand new network, which will be starting here in the very near future. No set date yet, but when it does happen, we will be, of course, letting you know as soon as we do. Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, ESEN. Jay, I'll let you explain what we're going to be doing with this network and also Unscripted, because don't you worry, folks, we are staying here. So, Jay, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm really excited about things that are going on. Again, we're really going to be getting into a lot more entertainment outside of just the sports world. Obviously, that's our main focus, but we will be dabbling into other things. I know cooking, music, fashion. I mean, pretty much anything and everything we really want to get into. I want to learn how to cook. The wife is a chef. I'm pretty sure she'll have a show on there at some point talking about chef and barbecuing, learning how to smoke meat. We're not going to go that direction, but it's going to be a lot of fun, I believe, on the network as we get it launched. And again, be on the lookout, man. We're going to start doing snippets of the shows and putting segmented stuff out there, thumbnails, shorter versions, so you can do a click, press, and play, 5 minutes, get some sports, and then get out the door type stuff. So lots of changes are going to come about. We'll always continue doing our live Saturday show. That's going to be our live show. And then I think, we'll probably start next week. We're going to talk more about it, but I think we're going to get into just a lot of different things. And I'm excited for what's up and coming, Logan.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped for it. We have a lot of ideas we've been floating around here lately. We're going to try some stuff out. We'll see what works, what clicks, what doesn't. It's just a growing process, man. But, I mean, that's what we're here to do. We're here to explore and see what we can do with this whole sports network we're doing right now. And then, as you mentioned, in the very near future, branching out into other forms like fashion, music, cooking, etc., etc. And if you are interested, of course, in joining the program and joining the network, applications are, of course, open. Just go on any of our social media platforms, send us a message, leave us a comment just saying, hey, I'm interested, and we will get in touch with you as soon as we can and try and get an interview set up so we can see what you're all about and if you'd be a good fit for the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. Well, Jay, enough chitter chatter. Let's get at her. Time to go close to home on this Tuesday evening. All right, Jay, you know how it works. Close to home, 10 minutes on the clock. If you want to use it all, you're more than welcome to. If not, go until your heart gives out talking about your Houston Astros, my friend. The floor is now yours.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. You know, the Astros have gotten beat up, Logan. We got a black eye or two over the last 5 games. It wasn't pretty. Mickey Delaney, he hasn't been in my DMs. I don't know what's going on with Mickey because I thought for sure I would just take all kinds of heat over the last 4 days from him. But I haven't heard anything, which is weird. But right now, the Astros record is 71-55. So we're still doing okay on a record, but it is heating up, Logan. It is heating up. Right now, we are a game and a half back of the Rangers, but the Mariners are hot on the trail. Mm-hmm. Right now, they're because of the sweep, unfortunately, that they gave us. They are a halfback of the Astros, and they are in the wild card hunt now. I mean, they're in the wild card there. So right now, if the season ended today, Tampa Bay in the wild card standings is 4.5 up, so they're doing well. Houston is a half game up, and then Seattle is dead even. So those are your first 3 teams. If it ended today, that would make the wild card: Houston, Seattle, and Tampa Bay, and Toronto. Right there at the 4 spot is a game back. So that just kind of tells you everything is super, super tight. Every game matters now. We only got 6 weeks, Logan. That's it. 6 weeks left in the season. That's it. We're almost. This is the final stretch. And what makes me nervous is, number one, right now, the Astros are still, like I said, doing well. We're still number 5 in the power rankings, even though I think maybe because of that Seattle series, I think maybe we should have slid down maybe to 6. I hate to say that, but, that's just me being unbiased. Again, the crazy thing about this is, Logan, right now, Houston is playing damn near every single day all the way to the end of the season. I think our next day off isn't until September 6th.
Oh, wow. Yes, you got
and then all the way to postseason, Logan, we only got 5 off days. 5 off days. So what does that tell you? What it tells me is Dusty's going to have to be, number one, super creative on how he does his rotations, how he rotates his positional players. I mean, he's going to have to get super, super creative because you're not going to have a lot of rest. It's going to be almost 0 rest time. And what really makes me nervous is it's not even like we have an easy schedule. We don't. Every night almost is a dogfight. We got to play 4 games against Boston, which we took game 1. I'll talk about that here in a second. Then we get an off day or an easier team. We got 3 games against Detroit. But then we go back and play 3 games at Boston, 3 games with the Yankees, 3 games against Texas. We still got Baltimore 3 games against. And then we got to go back and play Seattle for another 3 games. So, I mean, the whole schedule is just littered with playoff teams that we're playing over the next 6 weeks and only getting maybe 5 days off, Logan. That's it.
That's
much. Crazy. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, and that's why I say, you know what? I was feeling super confident. I felt the Astros are going to make the postseason, but with the amount of hard teams we got to play, the lack of rest, I don't know, man. And the fact that Seattle is getting super hot right now and Toronto is playing pretty hot, Tampa's playing pretty hot. I mean, I just don't know that I'm not 100% confident. I'm just not, because there's just so many things going against the Astros that they're going to have to overcome and get past. Now, I will say this. Michael Brantley, I think, is on his 4th or 5th day down at Sugarland. So I think they're really expecting Michael Brantley to actually make his pro debut this year, probably within the next 2 weeks. So I think we're going to get Michael Brantley back in the lineup within the next week or two. And he's actually doing really well down there in Sugarland. I think he went 5 out of 11, a few home runs, got some RBIs, made some good defensive plays. So I really fully expect him to come back and be able to contribute in that left field spot. So we'll see how it goes. But right now, like I said, Seattle swept us. McCormick is still hitting well. He got 2 home runs and 4 RBIs last night against Boston. Tonight, you get Verlander versus Hawk. Verlander's got a 3.36 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, and Hawk's got a 5.05 ERA and a 1.26 WHIP. But I want to talk about real quick, and I'm going to end it on this. That's kind of the number side of it, but I'm going to talk about the analysis of the Astros right now. Right now, our problem isn't so much on the hitting side and it's not even on the bullpen side. Our problem right now is the starting rotation. Javier gave up 3 quick runs last night. Valdez gave up 3 quick runs the night before that. Brown has got an ERA a little bit over 6. He's been getting hurt or been lit up. So right now, the bright spot of the Astros starting rotation is Urquidy and JP France, believe it or not. JP still lighting it up. He's got a 2.75 ERA, and he's just kicking butt. And he's gone up against some really tough teams. And he's got multiple quality starts. I think he's got like 12 quality starts where he's gone 7+ and only given up 1 or 2 runs. So, again, Fromber had his no-hitter. So it's not like these guys can't get hot, but will they? And as time goes on, like I said, with only 5 days off, will they be able to sustain the energy level? And number one, not get injuries. And number 2, can they keep the momentum with the lack of rest? And so there's a lot of things that's hurting them. But right now, the Astros' number 1 adversary is their starting rotation. Those first 3 guys, we give up way too many runs, way too early in the game. And it really puts a lot of pressure on our offense to try to generate the runs. Because now, and Logan, this is another issue. And I've been noticing this, and I don't know if you've been noticing, but I know Frankie's noticing it. The chase rate in baseball is gone exponentially high. And you know why the chase rate has gotten so bad? And I hate to blame the umpires, but it's the damn umpires. Logan, I watched so many pitches last night that were balls. I mean, we're talking inches out of the strike zone that are getting called as strikes. So if you're constantly getting bad, striking balls, then your chase rate's going to go up because you don't want to go out looking at something is a ball. Everybody knows it's a ball, but the umpires called it a damn strike. So the chase rate's going to go up. And that's the problem I have with the Astros is because we give them so many early runs that we're having to chase all of these pitches that are out of the strike zone because we don't want to get called out on strikes looking. And that right there that's a big freaking problem. That's a big problem. And again, the Astros got a lot of things to work out. But that chase rate, Logan, when you're trying to battle back and you're trying to get back into a game and they're calling these incredibly stupid strikes on you, it makes it a lot more difficult to get quality hits when I'm having to swing out of the strike zone or up in the strike zone or down in the strike zone or in the strike zone because I don't want to get called out looking. That's it. That's all I got to say. Go Astros.
Yeah. John Suggs, our guy, chiming in saying, he said, well, at least your team hasn't lost 8 games in a row now. Obviously, we know poking fun at Frankie. John, he does a question for you. He said, why did Alvarez slam his hand on the door to miss tonight? Jay, do you know anything about that?
I wasn't tracking anything with Alvarez.
Did Alvarez get hurt?
I will tell you this. I know last night, before last night's game, Maldonado called a team meeting basically saying, look, guys, we're better than this. We just got swept by the Seattle Mariners. They're dead on our trail a half a game. We have no margin for error. So I know there was a big-time meeting that was called the other night. So I don't know if Alvarez just got mad or frustrated about it. But.
Yeah, and John, I appreciate you bringing that up. I was just about to get it. But he said Alvarez was scratched from the lineup tonight against the Red Sox after slamming his hand in a door at home and injuring his left. So if I had to guess, Jay, he was going in somewhere and he shut the door and he got his thing. It's happened to all of us. So common.
I'm just hoping that's just a 1-game scratch and not more than one
that
game.
One up to one of the many just everyday occurrences that you can get injured in. Hey, you know what, Jay? If that's what's going to make us feel like we're actual major league players, then you know what? I am all for it. Frankie, we wish you were on here as well, my brother, but we know you're grinding at work. We'd love to get you on as soon as we can.
Frankie got to make that money, man. You know, Mama wants her money, Frankie.
And Frankie also did help us out here, Jay. A little bit of breaking news before the show went on the air. The White Sox, they have fired their president and their general manager. In a release they put out, I see on their Twitter, it says in the first paragraph, the Chicago White Sox announced that Ken Williams, executive vice president, and Rick Hahn, senior vice president / general manager, have been relieved of their responsibilities effective immediately.
They should be. They're horrible.
No, and honestly, Jay, you know me. I was on that bandwagon of the White Sox, and I believe it was 2020, 2019.
Yeah,
where they had that really good season, and nothing has worked. I mean, they got Tony La Russa. That was a failure. None of the prospects who we thought were going to be great have turned out to be superstars. They've been, I'm not saying they've been trash, but they've not been as good as we thought they would be. Eloy Jimenez, Tim Anderson, so on and so forth. Big changes, Jay, are coming to the White Sox. A lot of mediocrity in the last 15
Hey, you know who else needs to fire their general manager or president and probably coach too? Just go on ahead and throw the A's in there. Let's go ahead and throw the A's in there. They can just throw the owner too. The owner needs to fire him.
Well, it looks like they are going to be moving, and the players are getting paid in peanuts as well as selling the peanuts as their part-time job with this. I will say as little as they get paid at Oakland. It's still more than we'll ever have, but it is compared to the rest of Major League Baseball, it is nothing. So, hey, that's just what it is. My thoughts, Jay, keep it short here about the Braves. Been doing well lately. 7-3 in their last 10 ball games. Just dropped back-to-back games, unfortunately. Dropped one to the Giants the other night, and we dropped one to the Mets last night in a 10-4 rout. Just not our night all in all, but here recently, man, we've been killing the cover off the ball. We all know. They scored the 21 runs last week. Ozuna hit his 20th home, or his he got over 25 home runs on the season now, Jay. He's the 5th player on the Braves to have 25 plus home runs this year, which is that's not used. This isn't the Braves team I'm used to. I'm used to the Tom Glavines, the dominant pitching staff, not the amazing hitters. We usually had, Chipper, Andrew Jones, or so on and so forth, Freddie Freeman. But, man, these dudes are just tearing the cover off the ball, and I'm all for it. I mean, they still have the best is it the best? Yeah, still the best run differential in baseball with plus 206. Right behind them is the Tampa Bay Rays at plus 161. But yeah, like I said, we're still doing well. We're up 12.5 game over the Philadelphia Phillies. Doing good. Like I said, short little 2-game losing streak, nothing too crazy. But hopefully we can get the win against the I would say heated rivals, but just the same division rival, New York Mets tonight, and keep it rolling, man. Like I said, no major injuries, hopefully. And John Suggs is saying that Matt Olson will win the MVP over Acuna, which, hey, I mean, that is a very, very easy debate right there. And I think we're going to do, John, is once the baseball season gets a little bit more winded down, maybe with about 3 or 4 weeks left in the year, we'll of course, give our predictions for who we think is going to win MVP and all the other awards in baseball once we get a little bit closer. But, yeah, I mean, I definitely think the MVP award is coming to a team in Atlanta, regardless of who the player is going to be. So it's going to be fun to watch, though, man. The team's been on a great roll this year. Hopefully it can continue into the postseason. Also, John said, big changes come to the Orioles. He said they came out yesterday and said that they are a small market team, and don't be surprised if we let go some of our young stars to get bigger talent and have to spend more money, even if it comes to a $12 hot dog. Now, I did see that they said they're going to have to raise ticket prices, which, it sucks. It really does suck, but, that's just the way this business model rolls in baseball. If you're not in a big, Atlanta, Miami, New York, Los Angeles, so on and so forth, and you don't have the revenue, you don't have the funds like that, it's pretty much you're in a constant rebuild for the most part. That's why the Orioles haven't won a championship in well over 30 years for sure. And a lot of small market teams, like, you mentioned Oakland, they haven't gotten a championship since that time as well. It's just tough for those teams to stay competitive in a year in, year out basis, because they're going to have to either let players go or raise the ticket price, so that way people can keep coming to the games. So
you can't pay these, $100 million, $200, $300, $400 million contracts if your concessions, your parking, your TV rights, all the ways you generate money. If that doesn't add up, how are you going to pay these guys?
No, that's a great point. Meanwhile, I did see the Falcons, Jay, I don't know if you saw this. For the Falcons, they have tremendous concession stand prices. I'll find the photo here. But yeah, so like for $20, you can get like 6 items, which is insane for a football game, a national football game. Not heck, even high school games probably you can get more expensive than that nowadays.
Right.
But hey, I'll get that photo and I'll show it up here in a little bit. But Jay, we have our immaculate grid. We're doing the baseball edition today. It looks like now, Jay, for anyone who's interested, Jay, me and Jay will not be taking part in the immaculate footy, which is about the football, not it's soccer. It is soccer.
That is definitely not our wheelhouse.
No,
at all.
I know Messi.
I know Pele. Does Pele count?
Yep. And Neymar. That's about it. And Joseph Martinez from Atlanta United. That's all I know. Other than that, we're screwed. But Jay, let's go to a topic we know, and I do see a very certain team on there that you know very well, the Houston Astros. So, immaculate grid time: Astros, White Sox, Angels, Orioles, 500-plus career home runs and 40-plus home runs in a season. So, Jay, we'll go ahead and knock yours out. I'm sure you already know who's someone on the Astros who's hitting over 40 home runs in a season.
Yes, and there's quite a few, but I know the object of this game is supposedly to get the lower score, even though I just want to complete the dang thing. But with the Astros, you could go the natural Bregman, stuff like that, but don't put him in there because he's gonna be high. I'm gonna go with more of a Richard Hidalgo. Let's go Richard Hidalgo. I know Richard got quite a few home runs in his Astro days.
Well, Jay, let's see if he's hit 40 home runs in a season. And he has 4%.
He hit 41 to be exact, but yes.
Oh, okay. There we go. All right.
And while we're on that, if we may, and the only reason I know this answer is because my uncle was a huge Astros fan.
Okay.
I wasn't born in the 60s, but one of his favorite players he always talked about, because I watched a lot of Astros games as a kid with him. And I want to go to that 500 home run career batting. And I'm going to go down there and put for the Astros. I think it doesn't matter. I think it's
the Astros are not on this one.
But I want to put Eddie Matthews. I feel like he's going to get a low score, and he will be there.
And this is for Baltimore, correct?
Actually, it was for the Astros.
So okay.
But it has to. Okay, never mind.
Astros
Never mind.
Not on there.
I see, because it's the column thing. My bad.
Yeah.
Did Cal Ripken? Did he get 500?
I don't think he ever hit 500.
Okay.
What about
Tomei?
I know one we could probably get for a low score who played for the Orioles for one season. That is Mr. Jim Tomei.
Yeah.
He did play for the Orioles.
Tomei also played for the Sox, but you can't use it twice.
He did, but I feel that it'd be a lower score
for the Orioles.
For the Orioles, yeah, just because who remembers that beside me? There we go. 9%. Okay, a little more than I thought. So Jim Tomei right there. We got 2, Jim. Feeling pretty good. Should we keep going with the easy route with the 40-plus home runs? Or
let's go Houston, Baltimore, and this is an obvious one. It just happened last year. It's part of the World Series team. The only one I can remember was Trey Mancini.
That's a good one. Trey Mancini. Yep. 50%. That was a very popular answer there.
Yeah, that's really the only Orioles.
Oh yeah, hey, you gotta take them where you can get them. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with a name who is kind of forgotten, even though he's real solid. John said, "Let's go Mike Trout for the Angels," because everyone's gonna say Ohtani. I was thinking a different route, John. I was thinking Troy Gloss. That giant third base.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a lower score too.
That's what I'm feeling. He also said Albert Pujols, but I feel like Pujols is also going to be an easy answer. And also, I don't know if it counts for if he hit 40-plus with that team. So I know Troy Gloss did. I'm certain of that. I know that I don't think Pujols ever did for.
Logan. I got one after you get this one.
Troy Glaus, 18%. All right, who you got, buddy?
I don't know how we're not remembering the big hurt.
John, I don't think it matters if it was Anaheim or Los Angeles. Everyone thinks they're the same, anyways.
But hey, let's go with the big hurt for the Sox and 500 home runs.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Frank Thomas, big hurt, one of the best.
And again, I don't know as many White Sox players, so I'm just going with the one.
We're going with the simple ones.
Did Tim Anderson? Did he ever get 40? No. I don't think he did either.
No. All right, and then Jay. I feel like we could go with a super easy one. 40 plus home runs in a year, 500 plus in their career. We can just go Barry Bonds. That's a.
That's it. Yeah. Barry's definitely going to be in there.
Look here, everyone. We're trying to just complete this, like we said. We're not trying to get a low score. If Dustin Reese was here, we'd be trying to get a lower score, but we're not. So Barry Bonds, Jay, we've done pretty well. We've gotten, I believe, 6 of the 9. So we are doing good, my friend. Doing good. Now comes the.
Now we got to think Angels, Orioles, Sox. Give me a minute on that. And we got Houston and the Sox, too. I feel like there's somebody that I'm forgetting about with the Houston and the Sox.
Oh. I'm trying to think. Oh, I got one, Jay. How about a former Cy Young winner of yours, Dallas Keuchel?
Dadgummit, that's right, because he left and he signed with the White Sox.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing over there.
Yeah, I put Dallas Keuchel in there. That's a given. I know that for a fact. That's a given. Now we got to think.
All right.
Angels,
so
Sox.
We got 2 guesses to get them both right. He also said Drayback. I don't know who Drayback is.
Doug Drayback.
Kyle Drayback.
Drayback, I think, was a Pittsburgh Pirate at one point.
Who's yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So we got 2 more, Orioles and Angels, and also White Sox and Angels.
I'm trying to remember Doug Drayback because I know Drayback's been on a few teams. He's been on a few teams.
But which should we go?
Hold on, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to in my mind. I'm trying to go.
Trying to think of some
all right. Sox, Angels.
Okay.
The dude's been in the league for decades. None other than Bartolo Colon.
Big sexy Bartolo. That's a good one.
Bartolo Colon.
All right, now, Jay, one shot. Oh, hey, and Jay, we have the winner right here. John Suggs with another forgotten Oriole.
Vladimir Guerrero
Senior. And Jay,
yes, Vladdy.
What were the Orioles doing in the early 2010s, man?
But I know he played for the Orioles.
He did. I know he did. Jay, congratulations.
We got 204. I mean, I don't know. Is that bad? Is that good?
I don't care. We got all of them right. We didn't get any. We got all of our guesses right as well. We didn't get one wrong. So let's look at the most popular.
We did have a few low ones. We had what, 2? Oh, go up one or go there because it tells you right there. So we had So we had 1, 2, 3. We had 4 low guesses. If you want to say 27's a low guess, that's kind of a low guess. So we had 3, whatever. Not bad. I'll take it.
So here are the most popular answers. So we have Jose Abreu playing for the Astros and the White Sox. That's a good one as well. Y'all picked him up.
Right, Jose Abreu.
Lucas Giolito. He played for the White Sox and Angels. Frank Thomas, which is the one we got. Eddie Murray for the Baltimore Orioles. Barry Bonds, of course. Mark Trumbo. I forgot about him. He was with the Angels and the Orioles. Mike Trout, 40-plus home runs. Jeff Bagwell, another option we could have went with for.
I was going to go with that, but I figured he would get a higher score. Him and Bragg.
These are the most popular. And as you mentioned, Trey Mancini right there. So, Jay, congratulations, my friend. Our player score. What was our player score?
204.
No, that was just our.
Oh.
That's our rarity score. I don't know what our player score is going to be at, but hey, regardless, though, we got it right, Jay.
Hey, I'm taking it, man. I felt pretty good about that. I felt pretty good. Honestly, we were gonna. I did the Astros. I do okay with the Astros, and I felt like the home runs we do okay. It's always when the combination of team and team that I do.
That's the tough one.
Wow.
That's the tough one. And also shout out Ray Cruz, who said this show is awesome. We appreciate it, Ray, as always. Jay, speaking of the Angels, I feel like this just ties in there perfectly. If you saw, the title of our episode tonight is "Are the Los Angeles Angels Beyond Repair?" Well, Jay, I think that answer might be pretty clear. They have called up their top prospect, and Jay, this guy was drafted this year, and by this year I mean in this past draft. He's coming out of where did he go to college at? Florida Atlantic. He did well there, did really well. Got drafted, and he basically, Jay, number 11 overall pick, went all the way. He signed on July 13th, and what is it? A little more than 2 months later, he is in the big leagues. Has just blown by everyone. He went straight to Double-A after he got signed. 40 days after he got drafted, Jay. And he is now in Major League Baseball. And Jay, welcome to the MLB, Nolan Chanel. He is a first baseman / outfielder, 21 years of age, born on Valentine's Day in 2002, and currently is hitting 250 through a few games, not much at all. So Jay, is this like a last-ditch effort? We've seen the Angels really just fall flat on their face after the All-Star break. I mean, they're 4-6 in their last 10 ball games. They tried to buy some pieces, and my God, it did not work. It is not, at least for this moment. Now, like Jay said, there's still some time left, but they currently, according to ESPN, have a 0.5% chance of making the playoffs. Their current record is at 61-64 for fourth place in the AL West, behind, as you mentioned, the red-hot Seattle Mariners, the Astros, and the Texas Rangers. So, Jay, what are we doing here? What are the Angels? What's their plan?
Yeah. Frankie, by the way, we covered your breaking news already. We covered it actually a little bit earlier about the White Sox.
Actually, he did something new.
Did he?
Yeah, he said that, and this is sports journalism here. He said Skip Bayless has announced that Keyshawn Johnson will be joining Undisputed. He said that might be untrue, or excuse me, premature. So
yeah, I'm not a big Keyshawn Johnson broadcasting. I don't know. He's not bad, but I'm just not a big fan of his. But real quick, so yeah, the Angels do call up Nolan Shanuel, and he's gone 3 of 12. He's gotten a walk, a strikeout, 4 runs on 3 games. Like you said, he's batting 250. He's not doing bad. Number one,
he's just trying to find his locker still. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if he's trying
to get his stuff unpacked from college.
Bro, I think he's wearing somebody else's jersey that they just put somebody else's name on it.
He had to go to the team shop and get a custom jersey.
He's probably borrowing a glove. Look, here's the thing though. I don't want to. The guy's doing well for third call up.
Yeah,
very little minor league experience. I mean, little minor league experience. I mean, I think he's doing great for what he's doing. The guy's doing great. But here's the problem. The problem is not him. The problem is the damn organization, which is what you're talking about. The problem is, I knew that this team was in trouble when they decided not to trade Shohei Ohtani. I knew right then they were done. They were done. And now, instead of getting prospects, instead of rebuilding your farm, instead of recovering from this, because he's not coming back.
Jay, if Ohtani comes back to the Angels, we have to do something insane for the show. We'll buy a hat or something, dude. I don't know, because unless they have some voodoo magic, kind of like how the Braves have with signing all their guys to cheaper deals to get Ohtani back to a team which has not even given him a postseason game.
Yeah,
a handful of years in the league, then I don't understand it. And John also said the problem started a few years ago when they gave that big contract to Mike Trout. I
mean, look at it like that, Logan.
John, I'm not too upset about the Mike Trout contract because, yes, he has been hurt as of late in recent years, but he's still been very good. You know what the real issue, I think, is, Jay? The Anthony Rendon contract. People forget he's even on that team.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get more into that. But here's the deal. I mean, the show he resigns, It's going to be north of 600 million. I'm thinking probably. I think he gets. If he gets 600, it'll be 10 years. If he gets 712 million, it'll probably be 12 years. So it depends on how many years they're going to give this guy. But either way, you're looking at 1.2 to 1.3 billion dollars to two guys, one of which is 9 times out of 10 on the injury list, and the other one, you're lucky if he even wants to take the 700 million from you guys. I think he takes 700 million from the Dodgers, maybe the Mets, Yankees can afford him. It's going to be one of those kind of teams that, are going to be in the mix for this guy. And they're the ones that can afford him. They're the ones that he would most likely want to play for from a marketing standpoint, right? And from a money standpoint, and from a chance at a playoff standpoint. So,
John thinks it's going to be 640 for 10 years.
I mean, it very well could be 640.
Not a bad option. Not a bad idea.
It's either going to be 640 at 10 or it's going to be 710 or 720 at 12.
It's going to be a lot of money. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be a lot of change.
This team
will not have to worry about if he's going to have money for dinner.
Yeah, this team has very little future.
So, Jay, I looked up the two biggest contracts on this team, obviously. Mike Trout, he's under contract, Jay, until 2030. 2030. And guess what his annual salary is? He's
going to be north of 40, between 40 and 50.
No. We're not there yet. He's at 37.1.
Okay. Well, it's only $3 million.
Add an extra $37 million for the next 7 years. And also Trout's only 31. I thought he was a little bit older, but 31. Okay, so he'll be late 30s when that contract's done. Anthony Rendon, Jay, he is under contract until 2026. So I still have him for another 4 seasons. He is getting paid slightly more than Trout. He's getting paid $38.6 million. Those are the two highest contracts obviously for this season and next season. Some other guys they got, Tyler Anderson, he's getting 13 mil. Max Stassi, $7 million. I mean, a bunch of other guys who are not making a whole lot.
Yeah.
And if you add Ohtani into this mix, who's going to get, like we mentioned, probably 40 plus, we'll say that with confidence. I mean, my God, you're going to have to. Well, Jay, I don't know what you can do because you can't. I mean, if there a market out there for Rendon, I don't know if they go and trade Trout. I feel like they would have traded him already, but I don't know who's going to want to take on that contract for a guy who has been injured lately and is going to be, like I said, on the downside of 30 when this contract's over. John Suggs comes in and said, like I said, started with Trout. That's what started the money sliding out the back door down the hill. Tell me how he improved that team. Go back and look at the record before he got there and how much they were spending on him then. So let me say this too, John. I do agree that they definitely did give him way too much money because I felt like they had to.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. Yeah.
And let's not forget. I think when Trout got that contract, he was. I mean, he don't get me wrong. We all know Mike Trout is definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a great player. He didn't have the injuries quite then, but he's still a stud. We all know that. Yeah. And the Angels said, "Hey, are we going to let arguably a top 5 player in baseball when he signed, and he's still a great player now. I'm not saying that. Are we going to let him walk for nothing, or are we going to sign him to this contract?" And that's what they did.
And there's a couple of things with that, right? Number one, Mike Trout deserves that money. Yes, okay, his talent level deserves it. And let's be honest, those contracts were going to get to that level regardless of Trout. He was just the first one to do it, but there was going to be somebody else that was going to be the first. I promise you, that was always going to happen. The problem, I know why the Angels did it, and they're not wrong because I really believe they did that because, like you said, number one, they don't want to let him go, but number two, people want to play with Trout. People want to play with guys like Ohtani. So I think that they were trying to keep those guys in hopes to attract other talent, which would then build up their team. The problem is nobody's really gone there, number one. And number two, I've always said this, the best ability is availability. And how many times and how many games does Trout miss? You can't help your team.
I got to hear, Jay. I got to hear. So prior to that deal, which I believe he was signed in 2019, if I'm going with that, So he'd played over 115 games, give or take, every year except for his rookie year, right? So very much available. After 2019, Jay, here's how many games he has played in. So in 2020, we all know that was a wild year. 53 games. I don't even know. I forgot how many games they even played that season. So I'm just going to chuck that one out the window. 2021, only played in 36 games. 2022 came back, 119, still not a whole lot compared to years past where he'd played in 130 plus, but still that's pretty solid. And then this year he has played in 81 games, so just over half the season. So I mean, like I said, since that contract, obviously if you take out the COVID year, he had last year he was pretty solid. I mean, his numbers are still. It's not like he's absolute. He's awful. He's still hitting pretty well. On the year he's got a 263 average, which is low for him. But that's still not bad compared to most of the guys in baseball. 18 home runs. Let's not forget, Jay, he had 40 last year. So when he's healthy, he is still one of the best players out there. There's no question about it. But the reason I picked on him for the Anthony Rendon trade is because when they picked him up in 2020, Jay, after he helped the Nationals win the World Series back in 19. In 2020, like I said, I always throw that one out the window. But 2021, 58 games. 2022, 47 games. This year, 43 games, and I believe he's out for the year, if I'm not mistaken. So that is someone who's killing you.
Because, absolutely.
Because when he's been on the field, Jay, guess how many home runs he's hit as a Los Angeles Angel?
Oh,
in his 4 seasons, guess how many home runs he's hit?
I'm guessing at this 20, 25.
You're not too far off, my friend. He has hit a total of 22.
Oh, well, no, it's about 2.
22, Jay, 22 home runs in 4 years for a guy who in years past had, in 19, he had 34. In 2018, 24.
He's
2017, dipped. 25.
Yeah, he dipped.
He dipped. He really did. And that's another one. Just he's been hurt beyond. I mean, he has been very much hurt. So my God, and John says Rendon is done. Yeah,
but here's my thing, but John,
what that kind of reminds me of, just real quick. That kind of reminds me of that Josh Hamilton contract they gave.
Oh wow, with the
Josh Hamilton. No, whenever the Angels paid him so much money, he didn't do much. I mean, Pujols, I love him, but I mean, after his probably first year, he just age got to him. Not injuries, but age. I mean, these guys talk about injuries.
I remember Josh Hamilton with his Ranger days.
Yeah. He is a stud with the Rangers, but
yeah. Well, you know what? And John says that they're the laughing. I don't think the Angels are the laughing stock. I think they've obviously raised a few eyebrows with some of the decisions that they've made. But let's be honest, the damn laughing stock is the Mets and the A's for different reasons.
I'd say the Mets because they pay so much money and get nothing out of it. The A's because they pay so little money, it's just laughable.
You know what I mean? I mean, those are laughing stocks. The Angels made some questionable decisions.
The Angels, I would say, are disappointing. I mean, I think that's just the main word. It's just they're disappointing.
I'll tell you one thing, and I don't know if Marino, I think that's the owner's name.
Marino, I believe so.
I don't know if he has had that conversation with – I hope he's had that conversation with Ohtani and said, look, Ohtani, we're going to go all in. We're going to come back next year. We'll give you the bag. If we give you the bag, will you stay here? Hopefully, maybe they had that conversation. Ohtani said, look, I'm not going to leave. If you give me the bag, I'm going to stay here. That would be the only reason I could say why he didn't choose to trade us. Maybe they had that conversation. If they did, then okay, it is what it is, But we'll see.
Bro, that's all I can think of. That's all I can think of. So, main question we're asking you, our fans, please go comment on our Facebook, YouTube pages, primarily, of course, Twitter as well. We're asking the question, Jay, are the Angels cursed or are they beyond repair? Same question, different wording. So we think they are. I mean, we could do a whole breakdown, whole show about how we could try and fix this team. But man, it's sad to see when you have 2 top 10 baseball players in the world and you can't even make the playoffs with them. I'm not even saying win the division. You can't even make the playoffs. As a wild card team, they even added wild card teams.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hate to say it because I hate to see teams do this. I didn't like when the Astros did, but I understand why they did. The only way that the Angels can repair this, honestly, is they're going to have to go to the bottom. And what I mean by that is they're going to have to shed all this crap, rebuild their farm system, and then come back up. And it's going to take them at least 4 or 5 years to come back. But I think you got to go back to square one. But at this point, I think you got to go back to square one. There's no sense spending good money after bad, which is what this is right now. You got so much money tied up in 2 guys. One can barely stay on the field, and you really have nothing else behind that. So I think you got to rebuild your farm. I think you got to build back up the farm system and then try to be competitive again. I think that's really the true way to. If there is a quote unquote repair to this team, I think you got to go all the way back to the beginning and rebuild fresh through your farm system.
Yeah,
which is why they traded Ohtani, because they really missed an opportunity to get those picks that they could have used.
Yeah, picks.
They're current and their
draft prospect. That's for sure. All right, well, Jay, we have our final thoughts here. Anything else you want to get out for our next show on Thursday?
No. Like I said, man, just stay tuned, man. Unscripted's got some changes coming up, but I think it's going to be for the betterment. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. And by the way, fantasy football is now.
We've drafted.
The draft is done.
Yep.
And now, Logan, I got to be honest with you, man. I took some chances in the draft. Okay. But I think those chances are going to pay off. If Jahmyr Gibbs, because he's the starting running back, if he can come out and perform, and if James Cook can actually do what I think he's going to do, Logan, it might be explosive.
So, and Jay, let me see here. I'm going to try and get our teams just for us, because Jay, we play week 1. I don't know if you knew that, but we play week 1.
God, we got week 1.
So, okay, so for Jay's team, let me see. Let me pull it up here. That way everyone can see it here. First off, let me get Billy's comment in, or John's. He said Angels need to shed their dead weight and get 2 closers and 2 better relief pitchers. They have the money. Their problem is not hitting. It's the bullpen. I mean, we've said that for how long also, Jay? Their
Yeah.
When's the last time they had a great pitcher?
Yeah. I mean, once you get past Ohtani, when he pitches.
I mean, but beside him, though, Jay, beside him, who else do they have? I don't know.
They really don't have anybody beyond him. I think once you get past Ohtani, you're just there.
It's just some other guys. All right, so here's Jay's fantasy football team. He's drafted. Our draft was on Saturday, I believe, Saturday night.
It was.
And here's who Jay went with. Kirk Cousins as his quarterback, Nick Chubb as his running back, James Cook as his backup, DeAndre Hopkins, Chris Olave, Dalton Schultz, Jahmyr Gibbs, Deshaun Watson on the bench here, Khalil Herbert, Michael Gallup, Adam Thielen, and Tyler Conklin for his on his bench as well. Who's your where's the defense? Kicker, you got Brett Joseph. You also got the Vikings defense as well. And your backup, you also snagged the Giants defense.
Bro, we got the Vikings versus Tampa Bay. Come on.
I'm going to say Tampa Bay did just announce that Baker Mayfield's going to be their starting quarterback for the year. John said he likes the Jahmyr Gibbs pick. So, nice. Looking around the rest of the league, Jay, let me see who all I got. Because unfortunately, I had to auto draft. I was at a family dinner. I wasn't able to get away. So I had
actually auto drafted pretty well.
So my auto draft, I feel like did pretty decent. And thank God with a 12-team league this year, trades can be made and your team can still be competitive. So I might have to do some wheeling and dealing before the season starts here soon. But here's how my team's shaping up. I got Tua at my quarterback position. Risky, high risk, high reward. Also, John, we have AT Elliott, of course. Shout out Outcast. Jay, I picked up your boy Tony Pollard as a running back. Miles Sanders as my backup. We got Tyreek Hill, the cheat at the running back or the wide receiver position. Drake London out there in Atlanta as well. Dalton Kincaid, Jaden Reed, who I'm not super familiar with. Sam Howell, backup quarterback. That's a good option, I think, too. He looked really good last night, so hopefully we'll see how he can do in the regular season. Devion Aichi with the Dolphins as well. Zach Charbonnet, Breece Hall. Why did they draft me so many running backs?
I'm pretty good with that Breece Hall pickup, though.
I'm fine with the Breece Hall one. I'm going to have to see if I can look around for these.
I think that's going to be a lot of running back by committee out there in New York.
Yeah. So I got Younghoe Koo as my kicker, who last year I think he was the top.
Oh, he's a good kicker.
I think he was my top kicker in the league last year. I think I had him or Carlson, I forget. And then Jay, I went unscripted with the defense, it looks like. I got the Colts and I got the Patriots. So John, I appreciate it. We'll see how it goes. Let me look. Well, since we're looking at it, Jay, let me see if I can find our boy Frankie. Frankie Foxborough Frankie, not Frankie the Yankee anymore. That is dead and gone. Apparently,
Frankie got some holes in his team. I don't know. I don't think Frankie's 100% excited with it.
Let me
I know that there was a trade that was proposed. I think from Kenny to Frankie. I think Kenny wanted Stevenson for what's that dude? For Stephon Diggs. Yeah. He had some kind of crazy trade out there, but yeah.
So let's see. Foxborough Frankie C is going to be taking on Pride in week 1. And here's Frankie's team here before we get things out for tonight. Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. I had Rodgers last year, Jay. It was hit or miss. Either he was great or he didn't do nothing. So we'll see how he can do with a new team. Joe Mixon, running back. I like that spot there. He's got Dameon Pierce, the running back at Houston. With the Houston Texans, I like him. Stephon Diggs, Garrett Wilson, Hunter Henry, Zay Jones to round out his starters. On the bench, he's got Mac Jones, Rashawn Johnson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Cortland Sutton, and Cole Kmet. He's got defense as well as the Jets defense. So honestly, what are some holes you think that he could fix in? Because I know you said he's got maybe some tweaks he can make.
I think the running back spot. I think he's okay with the starting wide receivers. He's got Diggs and he's got Garrett Wilson. I think that's a good lineup because Garrett did really well last year, and I think that's going to benefit Rodgers a lot. So that could be a really good
combo.
But I think it's his running backs that's going to hurt him in the long run.
Just because I don't know how much Mixon and Pierce are going to get the ball much because they're on very pass-heavy teams. I would think, obviously, with Cincinnati, we know it's Joe Burrow. But with the Texans, they got C.J. Stroud. We don't know how he's going to do. So maybe they might go a little bit more run heavy, at least early on in the season. It remains to be seen. But yeah, our fantasy football season, our teams are drafted. We are ready to roll, Jay. Another season's going to be ready to do it, man. And like I said, we're going to have a nice title belt this year, which we are still working on. We're still working on. We'll get it figured out here as soon as we can. And hey, the winner is going to get some nice gold. Jay, any final thoughts you want to go with before we get out of here?
I just want to say that belt, it's going to be nice. It's going to be like the WBC, that green thick belt.
Yeah,
and then Logan's going to make us a nice emblem for the front design. So it's going to be on point, man. I think, you know what? The jerseys were nice, but I really like this whole belt thing. The belt thing is going to be the bomb.
And like we said, Kenny, our reigning champion, we'll see what he can do. Kenny, I do got some revenge this year, Jay, because he did beat me last year by a handful of points. So hopefully I can get it back this year for our boys on Unscripted. And most importantly, though, man, we're looking to have just a fun season
hold on.
as always.
Did you hear what John said? And I don't know if he meant this one, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Hey, Logan, whoever loses, me and you did. No. Game 1, week 1.
Wait, hey. I don't know about that one, man. I have a career, Jay. No.
Hey, no. Hey, look. You know what? You balance it out. You shave them both.
But oh my God, shave both eyebrows. It's gonna be like this. No, what? No, it's gonna be like Pride when he had to shave his head.
Hey, just shave your eyebrows, and then when you go to work, they say, Logan, we need to have a talk, man. What's up with your eyebrow? You tell me you had a grilling accident that you.
Oh yeah, I was cooking some burgers, and he said, or get a tattoo. Says the other person is my. Oh no! Oh. Come on. That's for the last place loser. I feel that's not for just a week 1.
Man, that's permanent. That's permanent.
That's permanent. Back to that. Well, how about like a henna tattoo? Something that lasts for a little bit. But
yeah, we can do a henna tattoo. We'll definitely do a henna tattoo.
We'll figure something out for our last place loser. Because I think
we do have to have a last place.
Because it was Damien last year, and I don't know if Damien's in the league this year. I don't remember, but
no, Damien's not in the league this year.
Yeah, I'd say Damien forgot to change his lineup after week 2, and he had guys who were free agents who were starting for him. So
I'm actually really excited about this league because we got a lot of really
we got good players
in this league. So
we do.
I fully expect to have a competitive league this year.
Yeah, that's we got some good guys as always. Of course, all of us, myself, Jay, Frankie, Chris. Also, Papa Gonzalez as well. A few other good guys. So it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be a fun week, fun season coming up here very soon. And of course, we'll be giving you updates on our teams, on the league. So, Jay McLovin, as always, my man, appreciate you coming on, talking sports with me every single week. Once again, check us out on Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Still going live there. And we will talk to you again on another live episode of Unscripted. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone, and we will talk to you then.